Joining us today, royal commentator Caroline Aston and PR expert Marcel Knobil. Good to have you both on board. I think I might start with Marcel on this, actually, because it seems to be, and many people are billing it thus, a PR disaster for the Waleses. This really does seem to matter. All the people who were saying, well, you know, everybody edits their pictures and everybody uses filters these days and everybody makes the dark picture look brighter and, you know, gets rid of an ugly piece of rubbish that was left in the background by mistake. Everybody who said it wasn't really a big deal, I think, has changed their tune as this story gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and it seems to echo all the way around the world. So, Marcel, is this a PR disaster? And if it is, can it be turned around?
It is a bit of a disaster, I have to say. The PR team provided the image to the media to clear the muddy waters. Instead, they've created a swamp of quicksand that the royals are flailing in. Yeah. It's been a total shot, not a photographic shot, as well as a bullet shot in the foot. And yes, I do think that this can be remedied. I think they were very slow with their response, but it was the right response. And one has to recognize, and they really need to reinforce the fact that the princess has undergone a very significant operation. She wasn't necessarily thinking as sharply as she should. And the team around her are lamentable in not having taken a responsible approach.
What should they have done? Should they have said, I'm so sorry, Mom, this isn't well edited, I've got to give it back to you and just use the original? Or should they have said, let's edit it better so that the editing is not so discernible? Or what should they have done?
Well, it's very difficult to know what actually happened. But for a start, when any item is posted publicly, whether it's from a company and definitely from a royal family, it should always go through a process, an approval process. So for a start, if they don't have this type of regimented process in place, that is outrageous. It really, really is. And secondly, yes, it's their responsibility to ensure that the exposure that's received by the royal family is immaculate. And until now, Kate has really been very formidable and has behaved, I think, close to impeccably. Mm-hmm. But it's up to the team around her to look out for any pitfalls.
Okay. Marcel, people are saying, I mean, people in this building, people in the street, people in papers, and all over the social media, if there's nothing to hide, just show the original picture. Just give us the original untouched picture. That would end this whole conversation, it would end the speculation, and it would end whatever PR damage is being done to the Waleses. The longer they don't give the picture, I suppose the more the furore continues.
Yes, we don't know what is in the original picture. If it's innocent, it certainly should be shown, but who knows what might be hidden.
I mean, that's the issue, isn't it? The whole issue is that the picture was shown to us, Caroline, in order to say, you haven't seen the Princess of Wales. Here she is looking lovely, looking happy with her children. Nothing to talk about, nothing to speculate about. This is the end to all speculation. Here she is. And yet all it has done is generate more and more feverish speculation.
Of which there was plenty out there. Yes, of which there was plenty out there on social media. I mean, it's been awash with the most weird controversy and conspiracy theories, things about exotic buttock surgery and breast implants and goodness knows what. Myself, I think it's terribly sad that we have someone here who's obviously had a bad operation, is having a long convalescence, and now is having to face a huge amount of mental strain as well, knowing that we're all expecting her to emerge at least partially back onto the public stage at Easter, March the 31st, being Easter Day. For me, the interesting part of this is why on earth Kensington Palace allowed this photograph to go out to these agencies, who then, of course, as they have to do in these days of AI and fake news, subjected the image to forensic analysis and came up with some really very obvious bits of what they call manipulation, digital editing, to the point where they had to kill the photo, stop it being reproduced. Surely someone at Kensington Palace was tech savvy enough to realize that here was a problem and to speak up before this furor broke out again. Because if this was meant to douse the fires of speculation, they've really thrown a petrol can onto it, haven't they?
Do you think that they are right to refrain from issuing the original photograph? A, because if they do, it will simply add life to the story. It'll go on, the original will be published, the comparison will be published, it'll go on and on and on. So maybe they're making the right decision to do their best to dim the story and just take the heat off it by not showing it. Or are they really adding to the speculation by making it seem that they can't show the original because there's something really big to hide?
Well, damned if they do and damned if they don't. I think they're hoping to draw a discreet line underneath it. It was very interesting, wasn't it, that following on from the Princess of Wales' apology for the confusion at her amateur attempts at photoshopping, she was then spotted, albeit not looking into the camera, in the back of a car carrying her husband and herself into London. Showing herself to the people. As the Queen used to say, we have to be seen to be believed. But it wasn't a particularly happy image, and it looked to me a rather staged one. But let's have a thought for her frame of mind. Recovery from surgery, and this was serious surgery. Well, it's not just a physical thing, is it? It's a mental thing as well. How do you stop people speculating? I don't know, but I would say this. We live in an age of total personal revelation. We all put it out there, what surgery we've had, what clothes we wear, what we eat, our relationships. And we find it hard to believe that the royal family, who after all are to a large extent public property, don't do that, Vanessa. And that's one of the problems here. Why don't they talk back to us? They carry on the way they always have, but this time they've had to explain because, well, we have complained.
Marcel, how kind of important is it to the stability of the monarchy, to the constitution and everything else, for the public to feel that we trust the royal family? Because the word that's been used several times in my studio yesterday by very serious royal correspondents, I heard it on the Today programme on Radio 4 this morning, is trust. That you have to feel that you can trust them. You have to feel that you can believe what they're telling you or showing you is what it seems to be. And I don't know whether that's a very serious word to apply to something that might just be a little light retouching that we've all done ourselves and really is no big deal at all, or whether it's a word that is appropriate because we've been shown something that obviously isn't quite the real deal and people don't like it.
Just like brands need to be trusted in order for people to be comfortable to buy them, so the royal family needs to be trusted to have our support. And transparency is so important. Clarity in a world where we really don't know who or what to believe is an imperative. And it's such a pity that the palace has allowed this crisis to happen. It's a crisis of their own making, and it's definitely undermined some of the belief in the royal family, but I do believe it can be put behind them. And I definitely believe we, together with the media, should be of a very forgiving nature considering the current circumstances facing Kate.